All right, so you decided on the 351 in your car. So what do you do for your drivetrain? What do you do for your transmission? We're gonna go over a couple things, some options and what you can do, what fits, cheap options, and then some more expensive options. So if you're gonna go with a manual transmission in your Foxbody or whatever car you're putting your 351 in for that matter, your manual transmission, you're gonna need a 157 tooth flywheel. And with that, your 10.5 inch clutch disc from a Foxbody Mustang is your perfect option. The only thing I found when you get the flywheel is that you don't get the dowel pins that locate the flywheel or the pressure plate. So you want to make sure that when you do get your new clutch or flywheel, you want to get the dowel pins with it too. So don't forget that part of it. So 157 tooth, and the balance is going to be 28 ounces on your 351 versus 50 ounces on a 302. And that also depends on the rotating assembly in the engine. So if you do a 351 and you build it and you do zero balance, you'll obviously need a zero balance flywheel. But 157 tooth is what's going to fit for manual transmission. And then the clutch, a 10.5 inch disc. If you use like a stock T5 out of a Foxbody Mustang or something like that, you can use a 10 spline clutch disc. And if you use like a TKO 500 or 600, typically like I've got a TKO 500 in mine, and I've got a 26 spline clutch disc for mine. So you'll have to make sure that you match the splines on the input shaft of the transmission with whatever clutch disc you're going to get for it. As far as an automatic transmission goes, you'll have to get a 157 tooth flex plate for your torque converter to bolt to, and that's pretty standard for whatever your 157 tooth flex plate is the same thing that a Foxbody Mustang uses on a 302. And then your torque converter, whatever you need. I'm not much of an automatic transmission guy, so as far as the specifics of what you want in a torque converter, I'm not your go-to for that. But whatever stall you need, and then you'll have to get one that's going to match up with your flex plate and the transmission that you're going to use as well. So what transmissions fit? Where can you go from here? You've got your engine, you've got your flex plate or your flywheel, your clutch, your torque converter, whatever it is. Now you need your automatic or your manual transmission. Well, the good news is that the bell housing on a 302 and a 351 are the same. So whatever transmission's on a 302, you can bolt up to your 351. So, that's a whole spectrum of things, but the typical, for my Foxbody, I actually used an automatic on mine initially when I put my 351 in. So when it was just a stock bottom end 351 GT40 top end, I had a C5 transmission. C5 is from typically your V6s. They're not really rated for much more. I found that out the hard way. So I had a C5 behind my stock 351 and was launching on slicks at the track, and the inside of the transmission just ate itself up. It would have gotten me by for a while if I wouldn't have been drag racing with it, but what fun is that? So I also swapped in an AOD from a Foxbody Mustang. That bolted up fine. I used the 157 tooth flex plate, and I believe I used a flex plate from a 302. I can't remember where I got it from, but I'm pretty sure it was just your standard flex plate from a 302. But you'll want to get one that's balanced properly for the 351. That's going to be a big deal. So. So the automatics, you do, something like a C4, C6, an AOD is fine. TKOs, as far as manual transmission goes, are good ones. I've got a TKO 500 on my car right now, and it came off of a 302, so it will work. And then the flywheel was off of a 302, the clutch kit, I guess, so the pressure plate and the clutch disc, that was from a 302. The flywheel is the 157 tooth, 28 ounce balance unit. And I got mine from, I can't remember where I got it from, but it was just, one of the online parts stores. It was a Ford racing unit, billet steel flywheel. It was a pretty good unit. And then I had to switch from that because I've got a zero balance rotating assembly in my car now. So I've got 157 tooth, zero balance flywheel right now with a clutch disc and pressure plate from 302 that was on a 302 setup. So it was it's not really holding for what I need, but it gets me by. So I've gone through quite a bit of transmissions on my 351s. Like I said, I've had a CD5, AOD. I put a T5 in my car also. Now I've got a TKO 500. So I've had 4 different transmissions over the 5 years that I've had my car together. So once a year I upgrade to a different transmission. And then as far as you get your transmission and then your drive shaft, that's all going to be pretty standard stuff from a 302 Mustang. There's nothing special or fancy there, and if you use the transmission that's from a 302, from a Foxbody Mustang, the transmission cross members will line right up. That's another good thing. So that's it for today. Hopefully that was helpful for some of the guys that didn't know what transmission options you have with 351 and the flywheel and your flex plate situation. Hopefully that kind of cleared that stuff up too. If you got any more questions, put them in the comments. Have a good one. We'll catch you next time.